Hey folks, it's Corey Martin. Fun dip. So I was just trying to catch your attention with something funny. I don't know if you've ever had these, they're delicious. But anyway, so yay, we're at the end of the quarter. I'm happy that you made it through. Thanks for sticking with it. There is one more task that you will need to complete. And then once you are done with that, you're done with the course. You really are welcome to complete this as soon as you like, but I'm going to show you over here the calendar. The calendar shows that we are actually right here. You had project 3 that was due last night. You have the revisions for rescore that are due on Friday the 15th, and then this mini project 2 is kind of the last big thing that will be due on Sunday by midnight. I really have to finish grading things on the 18th. I may end up grading a few on the 19th, but I'm going to endeavor to try and get through those on the 18th if possible, because then grades are due. So some of you are taking advantage of the late policy, which you're welcome to do. And that's been like, if you turn something in late, then we take off 20% for each day. If you turn in the 18th, fine, it'll be 20% off. But if you turn in the 19th and I'm already done grading and I've submitted grades, it'll be too late. So I just want to make sure you understand, for this mini project, you really will need to make sure that you get it in on the 17th in order to get credit for that. I can't promise if you turn it in late that I'll be able to get it graded in time to include as part of your grade. And it is worth 10% of your overall grade, so it's pretty significant. When you're looking at mini project number 2, I just want to point out that this is really the big prompt. There are 2 questions to answer. And really what we're getting at is where are you at with the skills? How have you improved your skills? I understand that some of you have made vast improvements. That you are, wow, I didn't even know how to, outline a text before. I didn't understand reading annotations. I didn't know what a thesis was. Some of you expressed to me like, this has been really helpful. I also understand that there's a few of you that are feeling like, man, this was, really, I've already known these skills. I already had this. Maybe I should have gone to 101. Regardless, I'm glad you stuck with the class. Even if it's something that you feel like you haven't gained a lot of new skills, maybe you could comment on the fact that you've improved those skills, or that, wow, I knew what a thesis was and now I've really proved, look at my scores, I'm doing so well in the course. Now I really have evidence that I am doing well. There's always an area that you can still practice. You may even say, paraphrasing. I know we touched on paraphrasing this course, but next quarter I really am going to need to do a lot more work with paraphrasing. Or I feel pretty strong. I'm doing great in the course. I love my grade in the course. But next quarter I really want to look at introductions and conclusions of an essay. So whatever it is, I'd like for you to be honest. I don't want you to lie, but at the same time, I really do need to be able to grade you based on an overall thesis, which includes something about where you're at with those skills. The second part is also, how can you use things from this class? Let me make this just a little bit bigger. How can you use things from this class both as a college student and then in life beyond? So what I'm really looking at is, how could you apply these things beyond this class? So for instance, if you're going into welding, how would you use writing in welding? Well, there's going to be instruction manuals. You probably have to write emails. In order to get a job, you'd need to write a letter. Maybe you even have to at your interview things, you'll have to have really concise questions or answers to questions. So I really would like for you to think through how you can use skills from this class to help you. Even paraphrasing, just in life. You get in an argument with someone, they say something, and you're saying, wait, what I think I understand you saying is, and you're going to paraphrase what they said. So feel free to think outside the box and not always apply this just to English 101. Of course you could, thinking through that's going to be your next course. Most students will do this just as an essay, straight out essay, about 1.5 pages, because it's 1 to 2 pages in length. They'll answer both questions. But there is a pretty clear thesis here that you're going to have a central idea, which is also a thesis. You'd have support for that, which will be examples from the course. For example, when we did working thesis number 3, discussion board, and then folks responded to my thesis, I realized I needed to revise that. Now I'm much clearer in my use of a controlling idea or a thesis. So those kind of things. If you decide that you would like to be a little different and do a video, perhaps you want to record a video just like I am that answers these 2 questions, that's fine. You could do a PowerPoint. Some people like to record an audio file if video doesn't work for you. I've had students do a big poster. They enjoy scrapbooking or crafty kind of things. Or I've had folks do comic strips. Really interesting to do this. So you really are welcome, as long as you answer both questions and you have an overall kind of central idea or thesis for this, which would basically be, in taking these classes, I've gained skills that will help me in my future career for X, Y, or Z. Something to that effect. Okay, so that's the big deal. I just want to make sure you understand the rubric and that you understand that you need to fully answer both of these questions. If you end up doing, say, an audio, visual format would not apply to you, but you will need to make sure that you have examples from the class, specific examples from the class, to help support what you're trying to say within the overall project. It's 10% of your grade. I know I already said that, and due by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. The other piece that a lot of folks miss in here is the revision of rescore. I know I've gone over this before. I have to have that by June 15th. I have to give myself time to get those graded over the weekend. And many people everyone hopefully will turn this in on Sunday, which means I'll spend all day on Monday grading these mini projects. So I have to get those revisions done, graded on Saturday and Sunday. So if you try and turn that in anytime after Friday at midnight, I won't be able to grade those. I'll just say, I'm sorry, thanks for your effort, but it won't be able to work. And if you are planning to do the revision for rescore, I want to remind you one more time that there is actually a memo that's due. It doesn't have to be this exact memo, but it does need to be some sort of a memo that explains, in this project, here's what I did differently. Here's why I made those changes. It can't just be I fixed the errors or I did what you told me to do, Corey. In order for me to grade that, I need to see that you've actually put some effort into why would you have changed those things. The Writing Center is open all week. Michael is also available, Michael Richardson, our embedded tutor. You can email him through Canvas. And I'm also available. I'd love to meet with you, or I can give you further advice if you need it. All right, so please let me know if you have any questions. There's a quick quiz at the end of this because I just want to make sure folks understand what I've gone through here. And I really hope to see you maybe in English 98, maybe 101, maybe even 102 eventually. Have a great summer. Thanks.